Welcome to the Unscripted Podcast. I am your host, Aida, founder of Unlimited Brands, a lifestyle clothing line.
And I'm your co-host, Simone, a content creator and founder of Meal Prep Venues.
Every Thursday, we talk about something new, something fun, something practical, or inspiring.
We like to keep it real, relatable, relevant, and above all, unscripted.
So turn up the volume on your drive to work or grab your glass of wine, sit back, and enjoy the show. All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. I am your host, Aida Altman, and I do have a special guest with us today, Fatima Bey. Thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, girl. So I have read through your summary, but just like we like to do with every guest, tell us a bit about yourself. What makes you this incredible businesswoman and coach and teacher? We want to know from you who you are. Share with us.
Well, to give you kind of a brief summary, I am a dual entrepreneur, first of all. That means that I have two businesses. The first business that I started many years ago at this point is called My Abishai, and I am a professional seamstress, dressmaker, designer, and sewing teacher. So I specialize in wedding gowns. I make and design wedding gowns. And we're heading into wedding and prom season right now. So woohoo! I actually look forward to it. It's a different kind of busy, but I look forward to it because I like it. And also I am a MindShift coach.
Okay.
So that means a specially niched life coach, in short, for those who don't understand what that means. My focus is to shift your thinking. Like, I don't just give you tips and tell you what to do. I literally shift your thinking before I do anything else. Then we can talk about tips and everything else. So that's my methodology. But my areas of focus as far as coaching goes are balance, because everything in life that works has balance, and all of us are in balance somewhere. So I help people to find their balance in whatever particular area they need balance in. And I don't mean chemical, mental, that kind of balance. I mean, you go too far in one direction when it comes to relationships, and you just need to be balanced. So you go too far at work, which causes problems. You just need some balance, and then you'll work. And one of my other focuses is helping you to find your purpose and your specific individual purpose. And I am unafraid to dive in there and be really specific. Sometimes people are general because it's a safety zone. I don't believe in safety zones. I believe in being real and effective. So I help you to find your individual purpose. I don't just tell it to you. I help you to find it yourself. And then I also help you, once you find your purpose, I'm a firm believer that you should take your purpose and make money with it. So helping you to take your purpose, passion, gifts, and talents, which really at the end of the day, they're all part of the same thing, and turn that into a career or business, you know? And then my other fourth focus is teenagers. And so I'm also a host of MindShift Power Podcast. It's a podcast for teens and the adults who work with them. I also do speaking engagements, public speaking, a lot of online stuff nowadays. And I also go to high schools and do workshops. I do online workshops as well. So all of that is wrapped up into my mind shifting.
Business. Yes. I mean, absolutely. I mean, there was no way that I was going to be able to share all of that. And that's why I love giving the space for a guest to just, tell us a bit about who they are, because you don't want to take away from all the experiences that led you to where you are today, and being able to build the business that you have and go to the speaking events and really work with people that are ready to shift their mindset, maybe from a fix to growth, or even just finding their passion. I feel that that's like, what's your purpose is such a big question that it does require work, right? And
absolutely.
So a lot of the times it's something that you can't do it on your own unless you really have a lot of time for you to dive into what that will really look like. But it's nice to have someone that has the experience in helping you, shift that mindset, right? It's nice to have someone that has done the work themselves and that have ultimately built a framework that has worked with other people that you're using over and over again. Obviously it's customized, right? It's not like one size fits all, right?
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
So I love that you have you have found that passion for yourself where you want to help people be the best of themselves by finding their true passion in life. The big question that I have, because finding your purpose or knowing what is your why is so hard. How do you do that with your clients? I know you said you will ask the tough questions, you will help them get there. But what does that exactly look like? If I were to want to work with you, what does that look like?
Well, without giving away all my secrets, I'll give you the generalities, without, and not all the details, because the generalities, the principles by which I work, and then the details are going to change per person, because everybody, as you said, doesn't operate the same. So actually, I don't approach everybody the same. I don't even use the same verbiage with everyone, because I assess who I'm talking to first. And then I approach them with the words that are going to be effective for them. I'm not interested in being impressive as much as I'm interested in being impactful. So that mindset is my mindset as a leader, as a speaker, as a teacher, as a podcast host. So with that mindset is how I dive into, coaching or working with someone. One of the first things that we need to think about, and there's what I'm going to say, you've heard other people say in different places, but I don't usually hear people say this all in one place. So one of the first things you want to look at when it comes to finding your purpose is, what did you dream of when you were a child? Because let's back up a little bit. Let's go a little deeper into just the surface conversations people typically have. Let's back up a little bit. If I want you to sweep the floor, what do I need to give you?
The tools to be able to sweep the floor. So the broom.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. I need to give you a broom. I don't know if you believe in God or not, but I do. And that's where I come from. So that's where I'm going to talk from.
Yeah.
When God created you, when he created me, he had a purpose in mind. He said, I need XYZ done. I'm going to create Ada. I'm going to create Fatima. And then now that I need her to do this, I need to give her the setup for it. We call those gifts and talents. So when those dreams that we were literally born with, we need to go back to them and revisit them. What did I dream of as a child? Now, in most cases, unfortunately, and this is not just an American thing, I don't care what culture you come from, most of our cultures beat it out of us. When I was little, I used to dream of being a lawyer. And you've been told how stupid you are most of your life. You've been told what a loser you are. You've been shown that you're from the ghetto, you're from the sticks, you're poor, you can't do nothing, blah, 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 whatever the details are. You don't speak English well enough, you're stupid. Whatever the details are, it's been beaten out of you. So now you no longer believe in that dream you were born to do. So then you start working a job and you're miserable. You're doing drugs, you're having sex with everybody, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're trying to find it in relationships, but you're not finding the happiness that you're meant to have because you're still not fulfilling your purpose, because you're running from it, because you believe the bullshit you were sold. I know. So that's a part of it. Let's go back to your childhood. I'm just explaining why. What did you dream when you were a child? The second thing that you want to look at is what pisses you off. Now, let me be more specific when I say that. I don't just mean it pisses me off when people leave the milk on the counter when it should go in the fridge. No, I mean, what gets you righteously angry? What gets you so upset? It is so wrong that things are out of order. And some people seriously get upset about that. Sometimes there's a reason for that. They're not weird. They're not strange. That's actually where they're gifted. So,
okay.
What makes you mad? Children being abused. That's my example, because that's me. People who misuse and abuse young women and children. Nothing gets me more angry and makes me just want to see red and wish the purge was real. Let's just say that. Nothing makes me more angry. But those are the things that and because those are the things that I'm meant to work on and focus on. And that is what I do. I do tend to work with young women a lot and women. Those tend to be my focuses. And children. I used to teach Sunday school. I've worked with children all my life. I used to be a youth coordinator. I just in different capacities. I you know, I've done a lot with children. But so what you are meant, what the thing that angers you the most, the thing that with righteous indignation, it's probably the thing you're meant to change. There's a reason why certain things piss me off that don't bother you that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about irritations. I mean righteous indignation, because that's a different level of what makes you angry.
Yeah.
That's number 2. Number 3, what are your gifts and talents?
Well, that's a tough question.
Number 1 was your dream.
Yes.
Number 3 is what are your gifts and talents? And that is a tough one. And the reason it's a tough one, because again, it's beaten out of us through our society, through our family, through our culture, through whatever, because the details are going to be different for each of us. But we're told what we're supposed to be and what we're not supposed to be, and what we're good enough for and what we're not good enough for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're just never told that we have any talent. We're just raised to breathe and eat and fart and watch TV. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? We're not told anything. Nobody points out to us what our gifts and talents are. That's not true for everyone, but that's true for a lot of people, or the people around them just don't recognize it. And so they don't know to say, it's not that everybody around them is a jerk or something. It's just that sometimes they don't know. I don't know what your gifts or talents are, so I don't know what to say to you. So you have to go on a journey of self-discovery for yourself. You cannot expect anybody to walk up to you and hand you your life's book and say, here you go. Here's all the answers for you. Life is about you finding it. That's how you build yourself. That's how you build strength. That's how you develop. It's not supposed to be easy. Duh. Everything isn't easy for a reason. So, but if you take those 3 things and you marry them together, that's when you could find the right career.
Yeah.
So, you go from purpose to my purpose is to help children. Okay. There's about 40 different positions in which you can do that. So let's take those 3 things and marry them, and you'll be able to narrow down what positions are going to work for you. And then you'll be fulfilled. You know what's not fulfilling? Money. Money can buy you stuff, but it can't fulfill you. And that's the problem, because if it could fulfill you, there would be no rich people killing themselves. There'd be no rich people depressed. There'd be no rich people in rehab. And we have all of that because money isn't the answer. Money answers things. It answers stuff, and money's great, and we should definitely have some. There's nothing wrong with going after it. Absolutely nothing wrong with going after it. But when we try to put a square peg in a round hole, which is what we're doing when we seek after money as the top priority, it doesn't fit. And then we actually end up more miserable. So it's what, go ahead.
No. I'll let you finish, because I have a couple questions here to hit you with.
It's why it's part of the reason I'm sure you can hear my passion. I'm so passionate about people finding that, because when you find that, your happiness isn't in a 1, 2, 3 step. Your happiness isn't fulfilling your purpose. A dog is happiest being a dog. A dog is not happy trying to fly because he doesn't have damn wings. And so often we're a parakeet trying to be a giraffe. It doesn't work.
Yeah, you're trying to be someone else that you're not. Yes. And because we don't know who we are, we just believe whatever we're sold. Which, sidebar, is one of the reasons why women who get into prostitution, sexual exploitation of all of its kinds, because there's many different kinds. 99% of the reason, they didn't know who they were, and some little pimp asshole told them who they were, and they believed it. And they took it because they had no other answer. And I'm not just saying that off of a concept at the top of my head. I'm saying that because I've actually worked intimately with people in that industry and victims as well. Well, here is a couple questions for you, because you make a very good point, because you see that every day where people end up doing things that you wonder why. You end up wondering why they became a drug dealer. You wonder why they ended up being part of it, a gang. You wonder why, they they started a certain way, like maybe it's just they started being successful for a reason. Maybe they were chasing money, and then all of a sudden they lost it all and they're unhappy. You wonder like why people went into certain directions in their lives. But I absolutely agree when you say that when we don't know who we are, we end up taking any path that comes to us, because there are opportunities every single day. There are opportunities every single day. There are different paths we can take every single day, but some can look very attractive, but you have to know the reason why you're pursuing those opportunities. Because if you don't know why you're pursuing them, you will get to that finish line and you'll say, wow, this finish line was not what I expected. I actually wanted something else. I wanted something more. So one of the things that I want to say that I feel like we don't talk enough about, and actually we get shut down a lot, is when someone is angry, and the word that's usually used is passionate about something. Like I feel like when you say someone is passionate about something, it kind of has like I'll take, for example, in corporate America, where it says, oh, she's too passionate. It has a negative connotation. So then we then internalize that and do not think about why we're so passionate about certain things. Again, like being shut down by society's, expectations of you and what you should look like, what you should be. And so when you hear passionate, you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be passionate. But you're right. When you're so passionate about something, there is a message, there is a whisper there. Why are you so passionate about this? Why are you so angry about something that you feel isn't right? And what can you actually do about it, right? So I love how you put that. Think about how angry you are at a certain situation. Not every day-to-day things, right? Like the clock, the daylight saving, I get upset at it every every spring. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm losing an hour, like. But
I know, I hate that.
Yes. And so how do you so obviously when you're having these conversations with people and you're getting them to be more vulnerable about, the things that get them upset, how do you help them judge what is that angry, passionate thing? Because we can be angry about so many things, right?
Right.
How do you differentiate something that, yes, you can be angry about because you're human, versus you're angry about this because this could be your life's purpose? How do you help them make that difference between the two?
I usually can see it right away. Literally, I can see it right away, but I don't tell them, because as a coach, I don't want to just give you information that doesn't help you. Me telling you, oh, here, you're meant to be such and such, and then now go on that path. That's not an anchor for you to continue on that just because I said so. You need to discover it for yourself. So I will ask very specific questions in the midst of conversation. So it depends on the details they give me. And I'll ask them, okay, what do you think that is? And they'll start to list things off. And then I'll say, okay. And we'll talk about each one, and I'll break it down. Are you angry when people stub your toe? Okay, we all are. It's a big deal. You angry when someone jumps in front of you? Okay, that's normal. Are you angry when someone jumps in front of you, but also equally angry when someone jumps in front of you in line? Are you also equally angry when someone else does the same thing with a different look to it? Okay, now let's talk about what the root of that is. So there's a lot of psychology involved. So sometimes it's because of what was done to you, but sometimes it's because, basically, in short, look for patterns. What I look for is patterns.
Patterns, yes.
There are many details that I can't say here because this is not long enough, but there are a lot of details that go along with that. But in short, what I look for and listen for is patterns. And what I get them to see is patterns. And then we talk about the explanation of them, because then they can see, so what really bothers me is when an underdog is mistreated. The girl who always stuck up, the boy who always stuck up for somebody at school that they didn't even freaking know. There's a reason for that. They're usually the youth advocate. They're usually the one who's meant to be a family lawyer or, whatever. There are many different positions in which you can take that talent. So what people have to recognize is transferable skills. That's the term we use in corporate America. But it's really your gifts and talents. And okay, where can you apply them? Because there's so many different ways. And in order, basically to get people to recognize it is I get them to see it through a series of questions and a discussion with their details, not just generalized all purpose. I don't do all purpose messages. Even my podcast episodes, I'm not talking to everybody, and I don't plan on ever talking to everybody. I'm talking to very specific people because I don't believe in watered down messages, because a watered down medication doesn't work, does it?
Nope. Absolutely not.
Did I answer that well?
You certainly did. You certainly did. I love that. Love that. Now, okay, so what does coaching what does coaching look like with you? So like, let's say someone is listening to the show right now and they're like, you know what? I like Fatima's vibe. I like how she's just like really speaking to me. And I feel like I really need to talk to someone like her and try to dive into like who I want to be and really try to understand what my passion in life or my purpose in life is. Where do they start? Like, okay, where do they reach out to you? And then do you have like a program? And is there like a length of that program that you can share with us?
Yes. So what I do is I do customized packages. I did used to have preset packages, but I found that they don't work with most people. So, I don't just sit there and go, oh, well, 6 weeks and we're done. So some people 6 weeks and we are done because they're far enough ahead that that's all they need. Some people need 2 years. Some people need, so we all need different things. So I customize the package, but everything is communicated up front. It's not like a surprise later or something. So it's a discussion between the two of us and an agreement before we get anything started. But with me, I really like to get to know the person and find out what their real needs are. And they need to be ready for change. Because some people, I'll tell you, I'll be real honest with you. Those who are looking to come to a coach because you want somebody to powder your booty, please pass me by. I don't want you. I don't want to be bothered with you. I don't waste my time with you. I want real results. I really get a thrill out of watching people change for real and be better. So I get fulfillment out of it too. And I will be very disappointed if I can't make change. You can't make change with somebody who's not willing to change. So number one, be willing for change for real. And I'll walk you through it. And you can go through at your own pace. You don't have to go at my pace because everybody's pace isn't the same. And I do understand that. I customize everything. So, but in order for people to find me, you just go to my name, FatimaBey.com, FATIMABEY.com. And all of my information is there. Yeah. And even if you Google my name, you'll find a lot. It's all me.
Okay. So it's customizable. You're obviously very relatable. We got the website. We'll make sure that we add that in the show notes so folks can just click on it and, go straight to your website. One thing that really stood out to me real quick before we wrap up today is I'm actually curious, how do you find balance between coaching and being a seamstress? I love wedding dresses, by the way. I wish I could wear wedding dresses every single day, but how do you find balance between the two?
I won't lie. It's hard. It is very hard. The good thing about the bridal business is it's seasonal. That's also the bad thing about the bridal business. I'm extremely, 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 extremely organized. I have to be. And I'm very stingy with my time. I have to be. So I try to be as efficient as possible and automate everything that I can. Some things can't be automated, but I try to automate everything I can. And I always am learning more. Like I will never stop learning. I never think I know everything. Even as I'm a master seamstress, literally, that's my title. I will never stop learning, try to learn more. I watch other YouTube videos because there might be something else I could learn.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we all learn something. I mean, we learn something new every single day. Absolutely agree with that.
For me, I will not lie. It has not been easy trying to balance the two, but what my initial intent was by doing both was to use my already established sewing business to make sure that I'm paying the bills while building the mind shifting business, while building the coaching business. I am still in that process. So that is how I'm doing it I'm shifting over to, have been, and like I said, still in the process of shifting over, to primarily focusing on the mind shifting.
Yes.
So, it's not easy.
I love I love the fact that you're actually in two businesses that kind of work hand in hand, because I think about when I was getting married last year and, wedding planning and trying to find the right dress and, making sure that I was happy with it. And I would have appreciated if the person that was helping me figure out my dress, that they had inspirational things to say, or like they had ways to help me calm down as, a bride to be, and just, make that whole experience a little bit more exciting. I mean, it was exciting because family was there and all those things. But, there were moments where I was doubting, okay, does the dress look right? Or maybe I'm overthinking it, or, okay, yes, I mean, it's going to be like a wedding in Mexico, so it's going to be hot, like, am I thinking too much into this? Like I'm spending like a whole hour or so trying to figure this out. And I think sometimes it's nice to have someone just say those very key words. You wouldn't be telling me this is the dress you need because this isn't that. You would be most likely asking me questions that will help me get to that. Oh yes, this is the dress I want. Or you know what? Maybe let's do more tweaks, or maybe let me look at other dresses, So I absolutely love that you have actually paired those two together. So that's awesome.
It's interesting that you say that, because most people actually don't connect those dots. But you're absolutely right. And that's one of the reasons why I have been doing it for so long, because and I work by appointment only. I do not have a storefront. All of each location that I've had my business in for the past two have been in business buildings, office buildings that you don't suspect me to be in.
Okay.
And then I'll convert it into a shop. And I do that on purpose because I don't want walk-ins. I don't want people disturbing my time with my customer. And I give people that one-on-one service, and I absolutely love it because it is an opportunity. I can tell you so often. It's not like this happens every single time with every customer. I'm not Superwoman, but very often with customers, a wedding is a stressful time, and they will start talking to me about this, what they've been going through with their family and what they're dealing with and what's stressing them out, and because I'm an objective listener. So it's easy to talk to me, and I'm not going to run around and tell the newspaper or anything, you know what I mean? So people do, and sometimes they need that stress relief, and sometimes I can tell that they're stressed when they come in. And by the time they see me, they're not as stressed, but once in a while, I see somebody, they're very stressed, and I could tell. So I start cracking stupid jokes that you can't help but to laugh at because they're just too dumb not to laugh at, right? I do that a lot. I use humor as a tool quite often because people need it. I see that people need it. So marrying the two, I also want to say, doing the two together, yes, I'm a dual entrepreneur, and yes, parts of it is working, but there's also parts that haven't worked. There's also some failures that I've made. And I'm not going to lie about that, because I don't want people to think that, oh, well, she just has superpowers, that's why she can do it. Nah, I'm just as human as the rest of y'all. and I have made some mistakes in trying to figure out how to balance all of that out. But those mistakes make you better, and I'm going to use those mistakes to teach others.
Love it. Oh my gosh, you couldn't have said that any better. Oh my gosh, this is so good, guys. I mean, I absolutely encourage folks listening right now, reach out to Fatima. I feel that in just a little bit that I've been able to talk to you right now, I can really see that you care about really the person that you're talking to. You're not about necessarily like oh my gosh, I have a new client, and, I get to, help them, see their purpose, but then you're really not helping with the process, right? You're just there just because you're a coach, right? You care about the people that you work with. That's at least the vibe that I get. And you're really trying to really make an impact in those lives. And hopefully those are like, it's like a ripple effect, right? You impact that person's life, and then they can also impact the life of the lives of people around them. And I honestly think that because you have something that helps touch so many different lives. I mean, if you work with a mom, I'm sure that by her aligning on the things that she wants to improve on, or her finding what that purpose is in her life, she will pass that on to her kid. And maybe that kid will end up working with you, right? Because again, you work with kids as well. I just feel like it's a beautiful circle where we end up like having some support in this journey called life. There's no better journey than that of self-development. And to have someone as a coach like yourself be able to support us in that process, I mean, what more can you ask for, right? Every single day is different. Every single day you wake up, life will feel different. But what if you were able to have like a set of tools, right? Just like you said, when God created us, he said, okay, here's what you'll need to go through the motions of life, right? So if you have a coach that allows you to have in your toolbox things that will help you manage how you feel, how you think, and ultimately getting to that big why that we all want to know. I mean, this is pretty awesome. I love this.
I want to say one more thing. I also believe I don't focus on only your personal goals, only your business goals. You are one person doing both. So I focus on you. And if you are in the right mindset, because everything we do comes from in our brains first before we act on it. So everything, if your mindset is correct,
yes,
we will start to see it manifest itself in your career, in your business, in your home, with your friends, at your parties, because you are in all those places, and the good you and the messed up you is in all those places too. So, dealing with your mentality and dealing with your mindset is important, and it's important to shift your thinking so that you can be successful, because sometimes we keep walking on a broken leg and wondering why we can't run. Duh. Let's fix the leg.
Yes. I love that. There is one thing I do have to ask you real quick. So I love that you called yourself the MindShifter, or the MindShift coach. It looks like notes that you shared, which I feel like we should definitely mention here. I mean, you won Best of Albany 2022 in a category, right? She also has a YouTube channel, folks. I mean, you'll see that on her website. And obviously, like she said, she's the host of her podcast, MindShift Power Podcast. So I don't know. I just wanted to just highlight this because I was looking at your summary real quick, because I was really impressed by your the bio that you sent to us. So again,
I want to add something.
Yes, please.
I didn't put this in the bio, so you didn't even know this, but I want everybody listening to go to MindShift Power Podcast and listen to episode number 2. Okay. Episode number 2 is a 17-year-old girl. It's called Real Change. A 17-year-old girl that when I met her, she had very low self-esteem. She had no idea that she was gifted, that she's intelligent, and that she has a purpose. She now knows what that purpose is. She was just accepted into a good college. She's going to become a family lawyer, and she's literally on the track to do that. Amazing. When I met her, she wasn't even sure she was going to finish high school. Wow. And she was in a toxic relationship. That's amazing. So if you want to hear what my coaching actually looks like, listen to her. Listen to her. You heard it,
folks. Episode 2. Go check it out right now. Fatima, if there was something of an advice that you could give to somebody right now listening to the show, what would that be? Or what was the best advice that you've ever given to somebody or that you've ever received? What would that be?
Oh, those are different questions.
Or both, I guess.
I would say start to question how you view yourself and why. Why do I think XYZ about myself? Good or bad? Why do I think? Because if we start to examine that, it'll take us down a rabbit hole that will lead to other things. Okay. And when you start to do that, self-discovery becomes a lot easier. But you got to be open to it first. Absolutely. So if you want to be comfortable, then you're not looking to grow. You should probably move on. Go have a party and sit down and go nowhere. Yeah. But if you're looking to grow, I would start there with some introspection. And asking why is the first part. There's so many things I could say, but I know that a lot of introspection, true, real and deep, not shallow, not surface, but real deep introspection is actually what is needed for most people who are looking for a quick fix. And introspection is not a quick fix. Sorry, it's not. Yep. And I know that is one of the greater needs. So that's why I'm saying that as advice when I could say many other things. One of the greatest needs I see is the willingness to do that. I love it. Might be uncomfortable, but you got to get uncomfortable if you want to grow.
Yeah. All right, folks, you have 2 homework. Answer the question, good or bad, whatever comes up to you, do the work, and 2, go listen to episode 2 of her podcast. Fatima, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for making the time. I absolutely enjoyed talking to you. Simone was jealous that she couldn't be here and enjoy this convo with you. But yes, thank you again, and I do hope that we talk to you very soon.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. We really hope you enjoyed today's show. We release new episodes every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the show and never miss an episode. You can find us on all the major platforms.
While you're at it, help us spread the word. Tell a friend and leave us a rating on iTunes. Oh, and let's be Instagram besties too. Follow us at _the Unscripted Podcast and let's connect. Until next time.